Oh,
How embarrassing. Just kidding. How about living the dream? More like.
how about living the dream? Oh my God, how adorable we look.
Well, I had a feeling. I sort of guessed what your outfit might be today. And I just sort of guessed as the most enthusiastic follower of your content. So I just felt like, it's our last episode of 2024, and we just gotta put a bow on it, if you will. So it just feels like this
Feels right.
has been a journey for you. Your Sophie scarf journey. Nope, not Sophie scarf. Your
Sledding
scarf. It was
It
too
didn't even
S's.
register as wrong to me.
Right, it's too close.
Too close.
Sledding scarf journey. And I just wanted you to feel supported because I am looking at the most perfect Allyson iteration of the sledding scarf that I've ever seen.
I mean, it was like it was meant to be. Now, I did make another one. I love my color black version. This is a nightmare. I'm glad you don't have to see this. Things are piling.
Oh, yes.
It's getting out of control.
Oh, yes.
Somewhere over here, there's my color black version, which I do love very dearly. However, you are exactly right, Laura. This was meant to be. This feels like if I were a cartoon character, this would be the one outfit I would own.
Yeah. I feel like your Bitmojis are so 2012, but that is your Bitmoji outfit permanently, for sure.
Right?
And I'm so with you. I am remote today because my craft room is like a bomb went off. A loving Christmas bomb, but
Christmas bomb.
It is too chaotic in there. And I was like, I can't clean all this up in time. So we're by the tree.
Well, I love how festive it looks.
Yeah, nutcracker, tree, what more could you want, right?
Nothing. I want for nothing, personally.
Exactly. Yeah. So we just look so great. So this is whatever, but Allyson and I hang out quite a bit, y'all. So I got to watch this become finished, become an FO right before my very eyes. It looks phenomenal but it was very exciting to see the photo finish, I have to say.
Yeah, I just wasn't reaching for it in my home. So I did the classic, well, throw it in your fish bag and take it everywhere you go. So hopefully you finish it. And that is what happened. That is what happened on Tuesday. So thank goodness. And Laura rescued me because I didn't pack a tapestry needle, but Laura always comes prepared for everything. So she was Johnny on the spot with the tapestry needle. I wove in all my ends, and boom. I don't think I've taken it off.
That was my question. So, because it just looks so natural, I'm not even really seeing it. So I was like, I know that we hung out yesterday, had a lovely breakfast, but couldn't tell you okay, you were. I was like, yeah, that's right. She was, right? She should have been if she wasn't. But hard to say. Well, phenomenal. And it looks so lovely on that. Could you tell me more about the sweater that you're wearing? I'm trying to tee you up here.
I'd love to.
Trying to tee you up here.
So this is
all right. Now I'm in the business. The sledding scarf's in the business position. Tell me all about it.
Yeah. So this is my framed sweater, my V-neck mod framed. Which I love. I love this V-neck mod. My chest is just so white. It's glowing in the sun.
Alabaster realness. Yes.
I like when my skin is so white it's literally glowing. It's an Elmer's glue like color as we near
porcelain.
Yes. Sure. But yeah, so this is my framed. I love her. She's so good. She's so cozy. I'm finishing up a framed class right now. Monday is our last class. And I've just been dragging them along, kicking and screaming, but they're finally getting with the program, and I feel
Good.
like they're like listening. There's a lot of new knitters and new to
Love to
me
see it.
students, and so they keep like looking at their pattern, and I keep being like,
Don't do
you
that.
gotta stop, I'm gonna
Don't do
kill
that.
you, don't do it.
We're set on a path. You got to stick
Yeah,
to the plan.
we
Yeah.
gotta stick to that. I have another, if you are being hashtag influenced because you have not knit the sweater yet, it's so fun. It's so cozy, double warmth everywhere. I have another one starting in February. So yeah, sign up.
Well, and I got a very interesting newsletter today from Allyson Knits exclamation point.
Hey,
About another class coming up.
yeah.
Did you see that?
I did see
Weird.
it. In fact, I wrote it. Yeah,
Oh,
I
did
wrote it.
you? What
But yeah,
happened?
I have a class that is starting in January. So just in a couple weeks, it's my Andrea Mowry, like it's all her fingering weight sweaters. I do a mashup of all of them, which is nice for people who want to design their own sweater, who want to learn how to design their own sweater. But when you just go from scratch, it can be really overwhelming to decide which, like it's, you just have decision paralysis. So it helps to take elements that you like of a bunch of different sweaters. So that's the idea of the Andre Maurer mashup. So it's like Alpenglow and Stone Crop and Illuminate,
Wow.
and people throw Metamorphic in there too. So it's all her yoke, all her fingering weight yoke sweaters, and we just kind of dice and slice them. Or, you know, learn how to just customize them within their own parameters.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love a class that's like got a broader theme. Like I
Yeah.
teach these in-person drop-in project classes and people bring whatever, but it's really nice when people are in the same realm or the same designer because they can learn so much in real time from each other. I feel like that is such a great format
Yeah.
to like give yourself, especially if you have a hard time letting go of the pattern, like Allyson was
Yes.
just saying.
Yeah.
That can be a good way to like it's a good baby step to like
Yes.
unclench
Totally.
and like
Yes.
start letting yourself let it go.
Mhm.
And then watching all the cool things that other people are doing can be very inspiring.
It's super inspiring and it's super motivating to try to get more and more off book, more and more off book. So yeah, so that pattern, that class is 20% off this weekend. So if you're thinking about it, that's 30 whole American dollars.
What a bargain.
What a bargain.
Wow.
What a bargain. So yeah, so that is on sale. You know, I'm just trying to sell some shit over here, Laura. We're going into we got what, 12 days left of the year?
Yes. It's time
Always
to get
be
going.
selling. Yeah, always be selling. Yeah.
Well, I have a fun announcement. As of last night, my zipper sweater class has sold out. It is officially sold out. That has never happened to me in my career. So zipper sweater, exciting stuff. So
Holy, I'm so glad I snuck in when I did.
I know. Now, if this breaks someone's heart, you can shoot me an email and I'll talk to the boss, but that's never happened in my life. So thank you all so much for selling out that class.
Nothing feels better than when there's a sold out sign on your own website.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. I've been kind of building, I've been in my Notion, anyone? I've been working on my new classes in my Notion and getting ready I just feel like I'm going to get lost in all the holiday noise, which I am part of the holiday noise, but working away, and it's just super motivating to be like, ooh, I'm excited to throw these new things out there because I have a big sold out sign. There will be a next time, Megan, for sure. And there is a new cabled Dagmar 3/4 zip that I feel like is going to be very hashtag on trend for the coming year. So keep an eye out for that as well. Quarter zip, we're quarter zipping around. Yeah, Burns is in for that. So or Burns is generally excited for that. I'm not going to commit you Burns. But anyway, so yeah,
Burns'
good business.
enthusiasm. I mean, what is that? That's like 4 exclamation points. There's so many, I can't even count them. They're just blending together. You love Tizia. Yeah.
But yes, let's end the year strong. I totally agree. So a coupon, who doesn't love a coupon?
Who doesn't love a coupon? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just trying to wrap up. Motivation is fleeting.
Oh boy. Well, Allyson and I mentioned that we got together for breakfast yesterday, but what I didn't tell the people was that we were going to attempt to co-work, and we walked into a potential co-working space. Every seat was filled, and we were like, sign from the universe, Americano to go, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And I believe not to put you on blast, but I believe you went home and watched The Holiday. Is that correct?
I watched like 4, 5 Christmas movies in a row. I just kept hitting play. I did them all. It was great. We're a week away from Christmas. That means you get to start watching the good ones. You get to start watching the ones that you save, right?
Yep. It's time.
Yeah. It's
I'm
time.
ready. Yeah. I'm so ready for The Holiday. I was like, once I saw Allyson went for it, I was like, it's time. Under my beautiful, yeah, I bet, because it's time. It's more than time. Under my beautiful magnolia bloom, I have my Victorian nightgown that I've sewn up for myself. And the plan is to not leave this Victorian nightgown for the rest of the day, do a little bit of sewing, and then just full Christmas, like full dive into old Christmas movies this evening. So that's my plan. I'm so excited.
I love that. Now, old these days, Laura, is relative.
Yes.
Because I do believe that The Holiday is old.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it is. It's antique, just like Elf is now on like TCM or whatever, which I went to.
That movie also old.
Yeah. It debuted. I was in college. That's crazy. But yeah, I'm actually feeling, I just watched last week The Shop Around the Corner with Jimmy Stewart, and that is the one that You've Got Mail is loosely based on. And I was very charmed, so I'm kind of leaning in, and I want to watch Allison's favorite, Miracle on 34th Street, with Natalie Wood. I'm very into that mode at this, so I'm talking like old. And there is an old version, black and white version of The Christmas Carol as well on TCM, so I'm just thinking full Scrooge.
Which old?
Hard to
Christmas
say.
Carol.
Hard to say.
They've just been cranking that thing out for the past 130 years.
This one's from the 30s, so I'm not sure.
That's a good one. Oh, what's his name? Is my mom here? Mom, who's that?
Susan. Anyway, the one that's currently on HBO Max, that probably narrows it down. But I'm black and white. I'm in a black and white mode.
Yeah. God, what's his name? I'm so close to it. My mom must not.
I keep wanting to say George C. Scott, but that was color.
But that was the 70s.
Yeah.
And that one is also good. That's the one that Shane has requested. Hazel Rothbaum, not the name that I was thinking about. Merle, maybe. It's very old, because he was old when it was made in the 30s. So he was born in the 1800s.
Which is wild. Which is part of why I like watching black and white movies, where you're just like, yeah, that person playing the old crone was born like during the Civil War. They're like on screen. It's crazy.
Alistair Sim. It wasn't my mom. It was my cousin Terry. Thank you. Yes, Alistair Sims. Yes, thank you. That's the one that I was thinking. I think that's the one. That you're thinking of. I think so. That's a good one. I liked it. I like to watch how they do the ghosts through the years. Yes. You know, when you watch all of the Christmas carols, it's like, okay, early 1930s technology where they were just like holding a like print up on a clear sheet, like in front of the camera. They figured it out. Yeah. Which you love to see, creativity.
Totally. I saw Wicked, and we're not even going to save it for Culture Corner, because it's not even worth it. Every single person on earth will see this movie. You don't need my take about it, except to say my biggest gripe. I went immediately to Allison's house afterwards, so I was in a complain mode then. But my biggest gripe is really just way too much CGI. Like, I know that's what we have, the world we live in now. It's like the Harry Potter of it all. If she's gonna fly, she's gotta really fly.
The
All this
the
stuff.
new the Harry Potters and the blah blah, whatever those are.
Yeah, and they're just like, it's all CGI, and like I think there's a use for it, but
Yeah.
it loses me when I'm like, a lot of this could have been really cool practical effects, and it's impinging on the drama. And so I really do appreciate the like how effective those old-timey practical effects can be in these older movies. Yeah, Shira's with me. And you know, there's a whole collection of the I always forget his name, but the French filmmaker that did like the moon, when the moon like the rocket lands in the moon's eye, and all these little shorts, but just the stuff he was able to figure out for like just stop motion and stuff, and how really a lot of it does, some of it's hilariously bad, but for what they had at the time, you're like, that's pretty clever. I don't know.
Orson Welles, all those old Orson Welles movies too. He was really creative with how he did perspective, and because he was so ahead of his time with how he was figuring out how to story tell. And he had basically like electricity had just been invented, and had like string, like, okay, let's do this thing. And it really, and I think that's one of the reasons Elf holds up so well, because they don't like superimpose giant Will Ferrell in front of all these. They like do it with perspective, and it's so cool and so effective, and it doesn't take you out of it at all.
Exactly. And they thought about that. Like Jon Favreau thought about that at the time. He was like, I want it to be in this timeless space.
It totally is. It
works.
It's better today because it benefits from comparison to the shit. I mean, the Harry Potter of it all, it was so frustrating watching those new Harry Potter movies when they just make entire scenes of characters that are just CGI characters that could just be background actual humans in costume. Like, why are you making me look at this when I should be looking at Eddie Redmayne doing something boring?
Right. And I will say that is one pro in the Wicked column, because they're able to do these huge set pieces with tons of dancers and like real amazing choreography. Human dancers. And they're in like, there's this one part where, I mean, there's like a costume where that's like a rubber ball costume, and they're in a fountain. It's wild, but that's human, and very messy and crazy. And you're like, okay, there are some because you have this budget, I know you really want to like take it out for a spin, but it's nice to like, you know, use it for the big sweeping stuff and not always CGI. But anyway, not to be a crank, but I'm leaning into the Scrooge of it all because I'm in the nightgown.
You're in the right outfit.
But so I'm in a black and white Victorian Christmas mode. Yeah, that's what the evening's sending me.
You can rent Christmas in Connecticut, Laura, starring Barbara Stanwyck, and just like basically everybody who was making movies in 1942 is also in this movie. It is one of my favorites. It's one that I did not appreciate as a child. I remember my mom being like, let's watch Christmas in Connecticut, and I was like, that's boring. But now as an adult, I am like, it's the first like real one I watch. It's so silly, and I love it.
Barbara Stanwyck,
if you're in the
is great. Is so great. She's great.
All her fits. She's in like this giant fur coat. It makes it her personality for like 3 scenes. It's unbelievable.
Well, okay, just for this moment, between you and me, since your mom is not here, it's the only time I'm glad she's not with us. I'm going to tell you, I have not seen Christmas in Connecticut. So I'm going to remedy that. You got me. Fitz, Stanwyck, appreciating it as an adult,
You are just going to love it so much. I'm going to rewatch. Yeah, Pam, one of the things we agree on, Pam and I are having a hard time.
Yeah, this is kind of the Venn diagram. It's almost binocular shape, but now we've got Christmas in Connecticut. We can do a sliver of light. There it is, the pinpoint of light, right in there.
We played Music League together, and we just, our musical tastes do not align. I would say everything else aligns very nicely. And if Pam's giving Christmas in Connecticut a thumbs up,
universal appeal. Universal.
Appeal. Yeah. So Laura, I can safely say that you will love it.
Great. And black and white, right?
42. Yeah, black and white, 42. It is one of those like propaganda-y movies that came out.
Am I going to buy war bonds afterwards?
You will absolutely want to buy war bonds.
Perfect.
You will also want to host a naval officer in your home for the holidays.
I thought that's what the Third Amendment was all about, but okay. All right. I'll check in. Well, you have to invite them in. You can't be forced to like
do
the vampires. Like vampires.
Yes.
Okay. I'm back on board. I do love the Navy.
You do love the Navy. It's Navy forward.
Great.
Navy forward.
Super.
Yeah. You're going to love it. Yeah. A++. Yeah. Host greater than quarter. Exactly. That's an important distinction.
It's not mandatory. I guess I'll relinquish my constitutional knowledge. Yeah. And that might be the Fourth Amendment now, but whatever. I was trying.
Forgive me. It's one of the ones we don't look at.
Yeah.
We look at the other ones kind of.
Right.
But it's one of the ones you ignore. Add it to the list, Laura, and then tell me how much you loved it later, because it is universally charming.
On board. Thank you for the rec. That's what I'm up to.
I remembered you having never watched that one before, so I wanted to make sure.
Perfect. Well, this is alignment. No, it is Thursday night football tonight. Yes.
Yes, but it's kind of a C+. It's a pretty C+ matchup. I think we got the Chargers versus the Broncos.
Okay. So what will you be watching the matchup, or will you be doing more holiday movies?
I will probably be watching the matchup because one of my boys. Now, I feel like you shouldn't be able to say his name because it feels wrong every time I say it, but I like to say it because it sounds so ridiculous. One of my little wide receivers, Lad McConkey, plays tonight. So Lad McConkey, I gotta go root on Lad McConkey tonight.
That's tough.
That's Lad with two D's.
I think Gen X has a lot. It's often called the forgotten generation, but what they have done with these children's names, they have a lot to answer for. I'm just saying. They have a lot to answer for. Yes, they gave us Nirvana, but to what end? I mean, my gosh, how many Brinsley Leighs are there now in the world? So it's tough.
Yeah. So we'll see what's going on. But yeah, I do have a few more holiday favorites to hit. Plus, you just never know when one's gonna catch your eye on the old Hulu that you haven't seen before, and you're like, "What's that weird premise? They're going to Ireland to do what now? Save an old pub? Okay, let's do it."
Right? You just don't know.
You just don't know.
And I feel like this is a good moment to take a quick moment and do a hard recommend on the FX Guy Pearce Christmas Carol. That is so good. That is coming up for me in the rewatch too. Because I know you loved it and Julie loved it.
You better watch it sooner rather than later then, Laura, because I saw on Hulu it is about to expire.
Why would they do that?
Maybe they have to put it on something else. You know how they move around?
Okay.
It expires off Hulu because they sold the FX, maybe goes to Max. Then you just have to find it again. But yeah, that I was thinking, we had talked about it briefly last week. I put it on, I watched like the first hour. Shane and I watched about the first hour and a half. And that, it's so effective. And I thought about it in a way that I hadn't thought about it before with that whole murder of that CEO. Because I just feel like if more shitheads were visited by the ghosts of their dead best friends who had just been like peed on like actually, like it opens up so effectively where Jacob Marley's 6 feet under, and this boy who has a big scar on his face, ooh, that comes back later, goes and pees on his grave, and then he watched the pee trickling through 6 feet down and landing on his face, and it wakes him up. So we can go haunting. And I was like, holy shit. I just feel like everybody would stop being such a shithead if they were visited by 3 spirits on the eve of Christmas.
You and Shane read through A Christmas Carol each year, right? Yes? Or are you
Not
doing
each
it this
year.
year?
We've done it in the past, and we're doing it right now. Which is, and then we pick a couple to watch. And each version, it kind of takes, because they've been making this movie for 100 years, so it kind of gets in the spirit of whatever's going on at the time. It takes a temperature check, a vibe check, and that Guy Pearce one, the vibes are bad. Everybody, it's worse now. They make his little chains. For each chain is a body that he's responsible for murdering.
Yeah.
And his chains are long, but his chains would be nothing compared to these fucking assholes now running around. So
you were saying, like, the story itself is a legit ghost story and is very intense and scary. And like, I've always had this tradition of going to some sort of theater, like Holiday Spectacular, it was called when I was a kid, or just straight up going to see A Christmas Carol with my mom. And yeah, I mean, from the time I was a kid, like, I mean, I've been it's the perfect sublime feeling of like, that Ghost of Christmas Future is the scariest thing that's ever happened to me, and still scares shit out of me, in the most effective way, because then you have that feeling of waking up from the dream, and you're up from the dream, and like limitless potential, and you're free from that terror, and it's like, oh my god, what will you do with the lesson you learned? I don't know, it's very effective, but also people tend to dial down the scary because of the season, but I think the scary is what makes it effective.
Yeah, the scary is what makes it effective, and the FX version with Guy Pearce is really, really great, because it like flushes out the reason why Scrooge is the way that he is, in a way that it doesn't excuse his behavior, but it sheds a lot of light on the filmmaker's idea of what could have happened to him as a child, and why is so cold and unfeeling, because he has turned that part of himself off because of past trauma. And also that doesn't excuse his shitty behavior, and it is all about what you do with your time left. And so like and it's a very effective way of differentiating between the reasoning for how you are and what you can do to make other people's lives around you better. And that's what we're for.
Agreed. And the only thing, and it's so nice to have that message of hope and renewal at the end of the year, especially when times are hard, like now. Just the fact that it's never, you have to hold on to something, and for me it's that it's never too late. It's just never too late, and it's never too late, and that's what I'm holding on to.
Yeah.
Not that I'm Scrooge, but
right. I think we're doing okay.
I only dress like him. That's the only thing.
Well, Laura, you did tell me that trend forecasters aren't saying it's going to be Scrooge core. No. They're saying it's going to be navalman core.
Yes, Navy fisherman. And it's like, oh, sorry. Was I not consulted? I've been trying to make this happen for a decade, but welcome aboard.
They're finally raising to your level.
Yeah,
finally.
Rising tide raises all boats around here. So regardless of all of the other nonsense crap we're in store for, we're going to look great, because
we're going to look great.
This is going to enter my fashion wheelhouse, and I mean, I'm just going to invest in a penny whistle to play every time I walk into a room. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to turn into that guy in Mary Poppins who sets off the cannon on his roof. That's me. 2025. Ahoy,
Uh,
beaches.
I would give you a cannon. I would. I think that you would distribute that effectively.
Yeah. People need a town crier. I mean, that's really what's missing. And so I'm ready. I'm ready. And my little assistant, it'll be great. I'll get a little pug and I'll teach him how to play the whistle. It'll be fabulous. It'll be great.
Oh my God. Well, I love this. 2025
Yeah.
is going
Huge,
to be,
huge plans.
but at least we're going to make it the best we can.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
I feel like this is vaguely semen.
I agree. Kerchief, and I had a notion, and we'll see if I can follow through on it, but I had a notion that I might make a version that is half, like a little half C, so it gets even more kerchief-y, and less bowy, and then I feel like it'll be real, like Gordon's Fisherman, super good.
Cute.
So, yeah,
Very cute.
it's a dream. It's a dream in my heart. We'll see. We'll see.
I can't wait to follow that journey. I will say, so when I originally was like, I need another one of these, I need it to be yellow so it goes with all my orange and yellow coats.
Yes.
They are all, both of my coats, my quilt coats are high necked. So one thing that I did not anticipate happening was this knot being too pushed against my throat and making me extremely uncomfortable when I button or zip up. But
I see that.
Very easily found a solution. And
then you're really sledding. Woo!
And then you can it's cozy. It's so cold outside. You just put this up like this. You button up your coat. It's so nice. Oh, it's just the wind. It's so windy.
Partial balaclava. Partial balaclava. Wow. Well,
and you're like,
I hadn't thought of that, but we did have a question or two about the width of this, and it is quite wide. But I do think it's helpful. Like, it's nice to have that.
Yeah, you need it. Look at the back of my neck. It's so warm.
Yeah, it straight up looks like a turtleneck from the back. It's great. It lays beautifully.
That's great. Yeah. So whatever way you spin it, this thing.
So versatile.
Oh, versatile. And so last week we were talking about how we did a Sophie scarf knit along last year. And I wasn't into that, and I wear that fucking thing all the time. The sledding scarf, I was like, what? Do I need this? Probably not. Obviously, I'm gonna never take this off. The Sophie hood just came out and everybody's freaking out about it. Now that is gonna be our first knit along of 2025 is the Sophie hood. Now and I saw a couple comments about coming up too that were like, I would not normally do this, but because it's a knit along, let's go. I just feel like that is one of the benefits of our community is sometimes you don't know what you need. And it's helpful if other people are excited about something to be like, that's not usually what I'm in for, but maybe I should be. Let's give it a whirl. Let's give it a try. Yeah.
And I am very into the Sophie hood. Very, very into it. I am just, I have quite a pile of future whips for January. But it's probably going to get me. It's probably going to get me.
Better.
Because I just, I'm at the point with my makes right now where I'm so bored in all of my knitting. So I know the temptation's going to be too good, but yeah, I will wear the hell out of that thing. It's so cute. It's so cute.
January 1st cast on.
That was an interesting plan. It's a good idea. And you'll be great. You'll be great for that kickoff. So spry.
Even at my worst, I'm like doing 80% better than most people. So I think I'm going to do great. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's 100% true. So people will need the content. They'll just like roll over in bed and open up their laptop, and be like,
Yeah.
"What are we doing?" Sounds great. So that
Yeah.
is lovely that you can be there for them in that moment.
Right. I was kind of looking at the sketch. I was like, oh, we can do this on Saturday morning or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be January 1st. Then I was like, no, let's just go. Let's just do this. I mean,
Applaud it. I applaud it.
whatever. It's going to be great. New Year's Eve, we will be partying, obviously, because it's New Year's Eve.
But it's
And
also December 31st, a very important person's birthday. So it's a double party. It's a double
that's
party.
my birthday. I'm going to be 41 years old.
Incredible. You made it. Yay.
We have fake. Ever since I turned 36, all the numbers feel fake and made up.
And that's just true. That's
Just
that's
like,
true.
what? How is that possible? I was born in the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Bob Cratchit.
Yes.
So, but yeah. So the theme for the New Year's Eve party is roll a cocktail. All right. So people are going to be encouraged to bring a bottle of something and then a wild card item, and we're going to have it all up on a board, and we're going to have dice, and you're going to roll your dice and roll your cocktail combinations, and then the next day I'm going to be live casting on the Soapy Hood. So
well,
what could possibly go wrong?
No one says that you can't wear sunglasses, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be entertainment to the max, which is what we are all about this here at Laura Allyson Party.
Just gotta do it. Just gotta do it. It'll be great. Yeah, Claire says, so excited to hate on the hood and wear it all the damn time. That is literally how I feel about it. It will be my favorite thing. I just know it. I'm gonna use my Joe leftover yarn.
Very smart. Very smart.
I don't have a lot of it. It's probably gonna be marled, but maybe it'll be striped. It's just I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna go on vibes.
Perfect. Well, it's gonna be gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah. We just been chit-chatting, Laura. I have something in this giant pile of nightmare next to me.
Oh, great.
That I'm excited to show you.
Please show me.
It is.
Oh, good. Wow. That is so much progress. Look at this thing. So this is your Sorry Nordland book club, right?
Book Club cardigan. Yeah. And I joined at the underarms. I finished the back.
That shepherd's wool.
Sides, right? It's so good. Look how moody my cables are. It's like the ghost of Christmas future up in here.
Oh my God. I just love it. I love it so much.
It's so good. So now I am knitting away until I have 5 inches from the underarm, and then I'm going to set up for my pockets.
Oh my God, it has pockets.
It has pockets.
Like people were told before. Come on now.
Right?
Come on now. It's perfect.
So I'm just super into these moody cables. I'm having so much fun working on this. It's a delight. I'm so into it. It's the opposite of how you're feeling about all your makes, Laura. That's why I watched like 5 Christmas movies yesterday. I was like, fuck it, let's just keep knitting this.
Yeah, I'm in a sewing season, so I've been doing a lot of audio booking. That ends today, so I can get back on board with my knitting. I do have a little preview for the people. I have started my Leland on now. No one else should, but because I am the boss of the Leland Cal, and this, my new camera is muting how yellow this yellow really is.
It really is. It looks like a banana, but it is a canary.
Yeah, it's true canary in person. This is making this look like butter, but it's way closer to the color of yellow behind Allyson. But it's looking so cute. My little rhododendrons look like little hearts, which makes me so happy. And this is for the Leland Cow that starts in January as well. And the work group will begin on January 6th. And there's still plenty of room at the work group if you are considering. So I am just getting started because we use our sleeve as a swatch in the Leelanau. So this is my little swatcheroo, and this has brought me joy. I have to be honest, but I cast this on to distract myself.
How could it not bring you joy, Laura? You're knitting tiny purple hearts.
Yeah, it's so fun. So, and that's giving me enough spirit because I really, really want this finished Aegis pullover that I've been working on forever, and I'm just so bored. So I have this like stitch marker, and it has to be 15 inches from this stitch marker, and I just keep hitting a wall. But it is beautiful. So I'm just showing it to hold myself accountable because it is beautiful and it will be worth it. But
yes, it will. Yeah, it is hard. Motivation, like we said, is at an all-time low. That is what happens this time of year. I'm sure that you're all, maybe that's why you're watching this right now. Your motivation is at an all-time low. It is hard to get it done because you just want to eat chocolate and drink whiskey and knit and watch movies. That is what I like to do.
Yeah, which is fine. 'Tis the season, I say. And now you've got some awesome recs if you want to host yourself a nice little black and white movie marathon. You've got so many recs after watching this program. So it's pretty good, pretty exciting.
Exactly. Just settle in and lean in. Yeah. We like that. But yeah, like Laura said, this is our last live until oh man, let's look ahead.
Let's do it.
That is exciting. January 9th. Ages from now till January 9th.
We'll have so much news. So much news.
So much news.
News.
And then in 2025, we're going to be doing every other week. Every other week. We did this, as you can maybe see, this is episode 32. We've done 32 lives in 2024. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When there's 52 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, I love every other week plan. And it'll give you time to catch up, check up with what we're all doing. And because we have so much content where we're live and Zoom in or live and taking questions. You're going to see us everywhere. So this is just a fun little check-in moment and honors of the old tradition of going live every day at noon. So I like it. But we have so much content now. Every other week is just the ticket. It's just the ticket.
Just the ticket. Yep. I love that for us. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, Laura, any goals that you are trying to get through before the year ends?
Well, yes. But first, I have to straight up brag. All right. So I completed an odyssey, and that is that I finished a little known novella.
Okay. Holding that book up.
The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. I read this. Now, granted, a heavy use of the audiobook, but this has been kind of a running joke with Allyson and I for a long time. But I did it. I freaking did it, and I finished.
Talk about, man, Guy Pearce is heavily mentioned in this. He should be sponsoring.
Yep.
This, because that Count of Monte Cristo, where he's the bad guy.
He's not the count.
He's the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's supposed to be a surprise, but he fucks up his face and teeth so much. That's one of the things I like about Guy Pearce, because he's a very attractive man who always wants to be the ugliest person in the room.
Yep.
And so he's like at his peak hotness. I can't remember when this movie came out, like 2003 or something.
Yeah, sure. Somewhere in there.
It was it's an old movie.
When Jim Caviezel was a box office win, so that was a while ago.
That was a while ago. the first Dumbledore
Yes.
is
Yeah. He's the Padre. He's the well, there's a lot going on. I don't want to spoil anything because who knows? You might be inspired. But yes, this is the unabridged Count of Monte Cristo. Allyson bought me this book as a very sweet gift to take camping in 2020. And she was like, you can put this in your bag, she thought.
It's a very
and kindly
2020 thing to do. Like now you have time to read a 1,400-page book.
Yeah. So she brought it to my house and was like, you can take it with you on your camping trip. And then she was like, just kidding. This is the size. This is a literal size of a brick. This is a literal brick.
No, why would you want to carry a brick around with you? Camping.
And we laughed and laughed. But yeah, guess what? I do think that the abridged version is a little bit silly. The unabridged version is a little bit silly because to our modern eyes, because it was serialized. So he wrote it over a series of things. So there's a lot of like explanation that is unnecessary of like, as you know, this was my father, but my name is this now. And as you know, and you're like, I know. Set your trap. Set your trap count.
On the previous page, like they put it together. And with those unabridged versions too, the fucking French are so long-winded. Yes. Just like with the unabridged version of Les Mis, no one should have to read that.
You really just, they should take out the history of the sewer system in Paris and like make it its own book.
That's what they do instantly.
Make it its own book, and then we could start the tale. But yeah, and also to be clear, wildly problematic. It was 1840s, terrible, and the French were colonialist as well, like rough. But the seeds of the modern adventure tale are really in there. It's very impressive, and I love the Three Musketeers. And guess what? I felt that the Three Musketeers was missing the sea, and so I get so much of the sea, and we're sailing, and when the traps are finally snared, whoo, boy, it's nice. I mean, it's really it's a hoot and a half. So yeah, this does slap. And so to answer your question, I felt really motivated by finally finishing this, that I have a bunch of half-read books and I'm trying to just see how many I can get over the finish line by the end of the year. So I finished this while sewing yesterday. This is called Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zanner. This is such a bummer, such a bummer. Everybody messaged me when I posted my little goal on Instagram and said that they loved this. And I can see why. But I would say it's an exploration of grief and how art comes from grief. And I would not say this is my favorite thing to read this time of year. Good book. I'm glad I read it, but I wish I wasn't reading it this time of year. It's hard. Grief is hard. And sometimes, and the holiday season can be hard. So I would not recommend reading it this time of year, but recommend it in general. Yes. So now I'm trying to get through this, which is called Life After Life by Kate Atkinson. And this is basically Groundhog Day. But what if you just kept being reborn and then got your life so correct that you eventually get to maybe kill Hitler? ? So I hope that's where it's going. I feel like that's where it's going. So I hope she starts getting it right so that she can get to it and kill Hitler. So we'll see what happens. But I'm doing okay. I'm almost there. So we'll see. But those are my year-end goals. Just to see how many books I can knock out before the end of the year with all my crafting. Do you have any year-end goals?
I have no year-end goals.
That I think is going to be a common theme. I feel like a lot of you will be like same. And I think that's great. I think taking it easy on yourselves, thumbs up, because people get real stressed. Yeah, goal is to get to the end of the year, Claire says. I think that's a great goal. I do.
Yeah, I think that's cool. My goal was to go to the hospital and get my blood drawn, which I did yesterday.
So go to and then leave the hospital. Hooray! You did it.
Sometimes it's just really hard to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't want to, because you just think that your body should work perfectly. No notes. But when it doesn't, you have to take the time to take care of yourself.
Which is hard to justify sometimes, but is the most important thing you could do. Most important.
It really is. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. And the older we get, the more we have to remember that, and drink water. All right.
It's
yeah.
true.
Drink your water, do your stretches.
It's true. This is part of a sub goal I have, which is I have too many books in my house. So I am slowly adding to the little libraries in my neighborhood. Nice. And a lot of these are borrowed. So although this I'm keeping forever. I need a good doorstop. But
it's a conversation starter, because obviously somebody looks at your bookcase and you have a book that's that big, their eye's going to go right to it and be like, wow, you read the Count of Monte Cristo? What's that about? And you'll be like, take a seat, my friend.
Sit down.
We're about to go on a journey.
Sit down. His name was Dantes.
Henry Cavill is a child in that movie.
Little skinny baby. And I think I would like to see that career. Just like Tom Hardy. Like when Tom Hardy was a little waifish model, it's like, oh, what does that boy do with his career? That's a different man. Interesting thought. But yeah, I will, yes, anytime anyone wants to come over and ask me about my Count of Monte Cristo, open invitation. Open invite. But the rest have either served their purpose. I just don't need to be, they don't need to be my home anymore. And so I've been taking my little wagon out and distributing books in little libraries. I've got 2 more to add, and or return books that I borrowed from people. So all part of a general housekeeping.
Get shit out of your house.
Yeah,
that feels really good.
I'm not running the library. I'm not. Get it out of here.
No, get it out. Yeah, I am setting myself up to hit 2025 very hard. I've been doing a lot of learning. I've been doing a lot of, watching videos and learning about how to be a better businesswoman. So I'm setting myself up for goals for 2025. But for the next 12 days, I'm laying the fuck off myself. I am going to knit my cardigan.
It's so good. And that will be such a lovely practice. It's fun watching it come together. So
very exciting. Yeah, it's very exciting. I'm going to do some puzzles. I'm going to play some games. I'm going to have drinks with my friends. These are all my goals.
Perfect. Yeah, and I have to say, I'm really enjoying, now that I've cleared all my work stuff off of my sewing table, I am really enjoying sewing. So it's been fun to get back to it, and the process of this shirt that I'm sewing right now for Brooke, spoiler alert, the process is so interesting. It's really fun to see the construction. This is a shirt that a couple of my friends have made, and they highly recommended the pattern, and I can see why. So I'm really having a lot of fun learning about all the bits and pieces of this colored shirt. So it's nice to just have some freaking fun. It's fun.
That's what our hobbies are for. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves we do this for fun. Very important. Yeah. So I'm doing my things for fun. God damn it.
Well, that's great. Hooray. So it sounds like we're, according to my calculations, living the dream for the next 12 days.
As usual. Yeah.
So
as usual. Absolutely. Hopefully you are #influenced because you should be doing this too.
Yeah,
yes, you should.
Just do it. And you're already doing it if you're watching this program and if you made it this far. So good job on the self-care with your 2 faves. And throughout all of that time, the party is here for you. So there is tons of time to share your crafting, to generally take a little bit of time to peruse the Whip It Out for 2025, see what people's plans are. Take a look at the people's Whip Wednesday posts, get some inspiration. Just take some time for yourself to really engage with our community and your hobby. It'll be so good. It'll be so good for you.
Set those goals for January 1st. It will be here before you know it. We can worry about everything then. Let's circle back in the new year.
Let's. I love it.
Let's do it. All right. Well, I love it. Laura, we can put a bow on it.
We've done it.
Put a little bow on it.
And thank you, Allyson, for making my 2024 so spectacular. You were a critical component into making my year A plus plus plus. So thank you to you.
Samesies, girl. Thank you for being my bestie.
You're welcome. I'm glad that's not even a goal I have to make because that's a guarantee. That 2025 more bestie power. Boom.
Done. Love it. Done. Done and done. All right, friends. Well, we will miss you for the next couple of weeks, but we will be back. We're gonna circle back in the new year. And see what everybody's been doing. Now, if you are around and looking for a good time, you know, to come to the party and see what's going on. People are sharing their projects and they are also taking some time to do some things, which we love to see.
Yeah.
Sweaters are getting finished, projects are getting shared, projects are getting planned, there's yarn being purchased. We love all of it and we want to see it. So keep sharing. Yes. All right. All right, everyone, we'll have a great holiday season. Happy New Year. And we will see you soon. All right. Bye, everybody.